Welcome to episode 33 of the WireTap podcast with Alex.
And Carlos.
What's going on, Carlos?
Oh man, I just finished watching or reading. I know you just said we ought to wait and hold on this, bro. But I got to talk about it. I got to say something because I knew we were right. I knew I was right. And it's not an ego thing.
You definitely called it,
I knew something was up. I knew it was a bunch of baloney. And this is why you need to be careful when you invest in Robinhood. Those of you that are strong Robinhood investors, you've got your money in that brokerage. Let me just say that there is a class action lawsuit for lying. I'll say it again. A class action lawsuit is in place right now for lying as of I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
They're calling it a crash and the damages to users caused by this crash. So that's what they're classifying it as, a crash. But obviously we know that they intentionally stopped, the trades.
They did. They intentionally stopped the trades. We're going to break this down as quick as possible, Alex, because we got a lot to talk about. It's a jam-packed show, and we're not going to jam it too much because we certainly don't want to make it too long. However, listen, here's a nutshell. You guys remember we talked about what's going on with Robinhood. You know, they saw GameStop, they saw AMC, multiple private equity stocks. They were up for sale. Things were going on. Things were good in Reddit. People were rallying. Then all of a sudden, what begins to happen is if you were involved in Robinhood, some of these brokerages, and it wasn't just Robinhood, but Robinhood really put their face out there because what happened is people weren't able to trade anymore. And Vlad comes on television, nationwide television, right? And this is, mostly on CNBC, where it's nothing but finance talk, nothing but money stock talk. And he says, no. We did not have a problem with liquidity. We were not struggling with liquidity. We did not have.
That was the whole reason. Like he said in the interview.
Yeah, that's the whole reason of the interview, Alex. You're absolutely right, man. He said, we did not stop trading because we didn't have enough cash. If I want to break this down in simple terms, guys, that's what it is. They said that they did not stop traders from trading and buying the stock because they didn't have enough cash. When the reality was, there are internal emails from top executives. I'm talking like COO. The COO said, hey, they're going to crucify us. They, of course, found those records on Slack. I don't know who leaked them. I don't know who or what. However, they were found, and that's what the COO said when Vlad said, no, that was not the case. Why? He didn't want to kill he wanted investors to be focused. He wanted investors to feel positive and good about their brokerage and blah, blah, blah. They had liquidity issues, right? Of course, He picked it back up a couple of days later. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the next day he was able to find cash and then allowed people all of a sudden to do it again. Why? Because they did not have enough cash to cover their spread. They were spread too thin. They didn't have it. They couldn't pay. They could not meet their regulatory deposit, right? So now the response is, oh, by the way, yeah, we're getting sued. Yeah, this lawsuit is happening. And yes, you're right. We didn't have any cash. Bum, bum, bum. And I called it. I knew it was a lie. I could see right. Why would you do that? And then your response is to protect traders? Ain't nobody protecting anybody. This is the stock market, right? Invest at your own risk, right? Invest at your own risk. No matter what you do, no matter what you jump in, the reality is that when you invest, you jump into the market, whether it's private or public equity, there is a risk, ladies and gentlemen, right? And with that being said, this is a result of what happened with Robinhood. And I knew it. Sorry.
I was going to say, what's interesting, though? It's like, even with all these news, I don't know why people
know how much
are not,
money people could have gained because of this, Alex? I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, people could have made a lot of money.
It's a short-term buy. It's not a long-term hold, right? Because they're struggling as it is. There's a problem right now with GameStop. But anyway.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's a dying company. I mean, unless they manage to do it a different way, I don't see how they, even look at what's going on with the brick and mortars out there. everybody, Disney closed at one of the most popular malls in Georgia. You know, they closed. A lot of these famous big stores, they go in e-commerce, right? Because that's what the demand is going. And I get it. We all want to go and just look at it, hold it, and then buy it. But the market, but the market is doing something else. And what's going on with Robinhood is a lot of people could have made money off of that, and they stopped them, and whatever the reason is. But what I wanted to point out is, so the stock, when it opened, what did it open at? 34, 35, somewhere around there.
And then today?
No, I'm just saying when it went public, right? It opened around $34. I think so.
Let's look at
it. It shot up to like 70 at one point, and they were like,
they opened at $35. Yep.
Yeah, 35. So
they're
then
stuck
it shot
at 44. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. So they jumped up to 70, and then of course they trickled down, and right now they're at 44.91. But I don't understand how people are not jumping off of that. They're losing. People are investing in their app. I don't know how you don't go to a different app.
I don't know why you just go to a different brokerage, right?
That's what I'm referring to.
It's not an app issue, right? It's a platform usage, right?
No, that's what I meant, like a brokerage like Webull or like E-Trade or something else.
I hate to say this, but Webull may not have the capital, right?
Yeah, I mean, true.
Webull may not even have the capital because they're so new, right? You want to go to someone you can trust, right? That has potential of being the next bank, right? TD Ameritrade, bro, they got enough cash. They've got enough assets to liquidate, right? You got that?
Yeah.
Right? You got E-Trade. E-Trade is a fantastic, that's my personal one, right?
That's what I use as well.
Great.
I mean,
right? So, I struggle with the fact, I mean, look at GameStop, just an example. GameStop today closed at a 3%, dropped 3%. Robinhood dropped 2%. It's going to get lower, right? If people realize what is going on, here's the problem. That some of our investor friends out there, right? Some of our investors who are involved in Robinhood, they don't understand the finance world, right? And they see this and they're like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's fine. They got it fixed, right? They're working on it. If that is what your brokerage is going to do and lie to you, what else do you think could come out of this?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that. Yeah, I just don't think it's almost like that president, from whatever. What was it? What was that app you told me to research, or the documentary? It was like WeMove or something.
Oh, WeWork. Yeah,
WeWork. It's almost it's almost kind of like
Absolutely.
that CEO, right?
Absolutely.
It's just kind of shady, not really trustable. It's kind of the same scenario that you got going on with Robinhood,
right.
in
Not
my
trustworthy
opinion.
at all, man. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So anyway, look, Alex, I just wanted to bring that up because not because I was right, but you got to know about this stuff, right? Listen, I've always been the kind of individual where I see it, I can identify it. I know I got a gift for it. I know what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you right now, this is not the end of Robinhood, guys. This is not the end of Robinhood. What I'm saying is they've got to break through this, right? They've got to break through it. They got to figure out what they can pull up next to figure it out, right?
I'm sure they'll probably eventually make a movie about it, right? Because it was pretty interesting of what's going on.
The Wall Street bets,
or a
absolutely.
mini series or something.
Absolutely.
But talking about shady people, Carlos, and what to look for non-shady people. What do you look for in a mentor? Like what is
because
things
you need
that
a mentor
recommend
during these situations, right?
No, for sure. It's like, so that's why I'm curious to see, like, what are you looking in for a mentor, or what should our listeners be looking if they want to get someone to kind of help them along the way, not just necessarily in stocks, but just in everyday different situations.
Understanding the decisions that you're about to make. Sometimes, and here's the problem, right? I don't think this is a cultural thing at all, Alex. I think it might be an age piece. I don't know. I'm not trying to jump into ageism, but we've got to understand the value. And I'm going to say this, we've got to understand the value of a mentor, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got to understand the value of speaking with others, right? Just conversation of those individuals who've been there before. Sometimes some of you, and I'm not going to say that all of us, right? But some of you that are listening right now have a mentor that would be fantastic in your life if you did not see mentorship as a weakness. Right? Some of you may be like, oh, well, he's only a couple of years older than me, or I know who he is. I've been there. Listen, I'm telling you right now, some of you may have the best mentor right under your noses, and you have no idea the kind of asset that sits in front of you, right? Right. So back to your question, Alex, I will say in these situations, in any situations, I think it's important. I think it's incredibly important to have someone that you can connect with, share ideas, right? Share your vision, break it down, and analyze it, assess it, that you can have a second voice, right? You don't necessarily have to agree with that individual. Would you agree with me, Alex?
Dude, yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to agree, but
No. But
you're looking at someone that has expertise that you don't have. I mean, that's really what a mentor is. I don't know if I don't know something, is like I look for other people to advise, or people who have the experience, right? So the expertise
Absolutely.
levels that I don't have. And I think if you're very prideful, maybe you're
Yeah.
one of those people that what are you doing with your mic over there? Anyways, going back. So no, I think that's
I
what
was
you
just putting a
look for.
cover on it, man. Give me an opportunity, because I was like, I'm gonna end up spitting on this. I'm gonna put my cover back on since I changed it out. Hopefully, the volume didn't change on it. Anyway,
It did a little
Sorry,
bit,
man.
but it's all right.
It's okay.
It's
It's
all right.
okay. It's all right. I get past shit again and go through it, Alex. All right, go ahead, man.
You'll manage. But no, but that's what we look for. I mean, that's what a mentor is. You're looking for expertise or something like that. And the way you approach a mentor, you got to make sure that you're not always like, hey, gimme, 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 gimme. Right? You got to offer you something. It's like, hey, I'll get you your coffee. I'll do this. I'll be basically your secretary in order for you to teach me so I can learn from you. I mean, in a way, it depends on what you're looking to
I
be
don't think there's
mentored.
anything wrong with that, right? If you're looking for a mentor
I mean,
on
it could
that
be
level,
welding.
like an apprentice,
An
right?
apprentice, yeah, an apprentice.
Yeah. If you're looking for something like that, but I'm talking like my type of mentorship is the kind that I run to when I feel like, okay, I'm torn, right? Example, I'm a brand new investor. I want to jump into Robinhood. I'm sorry, I want to invest in the stock market, and I think the best platform is Robinhood, but they've got all these issues. Who do I talk to about this? Right? Get you a mentor. If you're not going to pay somebody, get you a mentor, someone who knows a little bit more than you, right? Sometimes it's okay to pay for a mentor. I hate to say that, right?
No, dude,
because it matters.
Yeah, you
right?
have to.
And here's the other part. Here's one of the things. I know we're going to talk about this a little bit more and really flesh it out. But Forbes magazine came out with an article that talked about mentorship, right? What do you need to look for? Like, what do you do when you're choosing a mentor? And I know they talk about compatibility. I do. I know that's one of the biggest things that they talk about is compatibility, that you're compatible. Let me also say this. Don't be afraid to not be compatible.
Exactly. I was about to say, because it's not a long term, right? Your mentor is not going to be there. Yes, there is mentors that are going to be there for your lifetime if that's the relationship you guys build. But sometimes you got mentors that you're not going to be compatible, but you're trying to absorb their expertise of something that you're interested in. So it's short term. So in the short term, you're not going to be compatible, and it's okay not to be.
It's okay. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. I do. I truly agree. And here's the thing. Not only, do you need to think about those things, but I would also say to you, hey, make sure it's nobody who's going to tell you what you want to hear. Right? We want that, opportunity. People tell us we're doing a great job. That we want people to pat us on the back. I don't know about you. When I look at my Enneagram, my number 3 tells me that I enjoy people telling me that I'm doing a great job. Right? I don't want someone as a mentor to say to me, I'm doing a great job. I want you to call me out on my mess, right? I want you to say something to me when it's just not working, right? If I don't see it yet, jump in and tell me, right? This is why I need you as my mentor, right? To help me make better decisions as I navigate through life, as I navigate through my career, I'll tell you right now, I've got a mentor. This guy is a really nice gentleman, really great guy. Worked 22 years, I believe it is, with ExxonMobil. I don't know how in the world I was able to meet this individual, especially with an ExxonMobil. This guy is an ExxonMobil exec, right? And does incredibly well for himself. But that's who I run to when I need something, when I'm concerned, when I'm worried. I don't bring in anybody else into my life. I bring in him only. I hate to say that, right? Because you want to bring other people in your life, but this individual, when it comes to business, is just the brain of wealth, right? Not only is he wealthy, like very wealthy, I'm talking like a brain of wealth that I'm going to run this by.
It's-
And
it's
well,
just
tell
his
me like it
level-
is, Alex. Huh?
Dude, it's just his level of expertise.
Right. Absolutely. And
That's
here's the
what it
thing.
is. It
I'm not in the
doesn't-
petroleum world, right? I'm not in the oil business.
No,
right? I'm
but
not
you
in
know,
that.
but it doesn't really matter because all
Right,
business
right,
sectors
exactly.
operate in
Bingo.
a similar way. You know,
Bingo.
it doesn't
Bingo.
matter what field you're on. I think we can all learn from whatever field it is. And another thing is you got to make sure you can trust this mentor.
Absolutely.
I mean, trust is a critical, just like anything. You got to be able to that the mentor is you're trusting that he's telling you exactly what you don't want to hear,
Right.
or sometimes what you want to hear. Because
Yeah.
if you're doing something correct, you wanna trust them. Hey, this guy tells me when I'm wrong, but he also tells me when I'm correct.
Right.
And that
Right.
and I think that's critical, man. I think you got to make sure you can trust your mentor. If not, I mean, there's no point.
But one of the biggest things in mentoring or in just mentorship in general is you have to understand, right? If you're seeking it, you've got to go for it, right? You've got to seek it out. Number one, you've got to understand that this is a give, right? A gift and receive, right? You've got to be able to understand that you have to initiate this, right? You can't expect on them because you called on them to be your mentor, right? So you have to be ready to understand that you have to be open. You've got to be transparent. You can't hide anything. You can't pull anything back. It is what it is, right? So you've got to make sure you are the one that's giving.
I've always said it. Like if there was a particular, maybe back in the days, this is for your young listeners out there.
Oh, you young whippersnappers, listen.
You know, they're in a different position where you can have a little bit more to risk. Not somebody that's got like a wife and kids and stuff like that, where you're kind of young in the scene. It's like, dude, if I'm interested in a sector, I don't mind going up and be like, dude, I'll work for free for a couple months here. Just I want to learn from you. I want to gain expertise, and I'll do whatever you need me to do. If that's grabbing your copy, I'll grab your copy. If you know, because I want to learn, right? And sometimes you'd be surprised. Maybe you wanted to go into this company, but you go in there working for free as an apprentice, and then eventually they see the potential, and they'll be like, you know what, we would like to actually offer you a job here.
Right. By the way, Alex, do you have a mentor? Or do you have mentor-like people that you see them as mentors that you only just connect with on a certain level, and then you're done with them?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. So there is people that have more expertise on a certain level that I tap into them, and they're there to kind of guide me along the ways on certain sectors. So I'll tap into them and I take their inputs, but I've always been a person that doesn't like to rely a lot on other people. And not necessarily that, yeah. But the thing is, because sometimes, you know, I can't wait for an answer, and most of the time, and you know this, Carlos, you got to take decisions quickly. And if some people are dragging they're dragging their feet, and I need to make a decision quick. Sometimes I can't wait, so I have to go dig for that information and go explore and read and do this and do that in order for me to come. But no, there is people that I tap into. I mean, sometimes I tap into you, right? Because you got different knowledge or different expertise levels.
I'm honored, Alex. I'm honored.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to you, right? But I mean, I tap into a lot of different people for different reasons.
That's what I'm saying. I think you see these. I think the way you are, and I see the way you function, is you see different individuals as mentor-like, right? They're not your dedicated mentor; they're mentor-like, right? When you need them, you call on them, and then okay, I've got to move on to the next thing. And if I need you, I'll call back on you, which is nothing wrong with that. Because here's the thing: mentorship is the ability to understand that I can't do this alone.
But you know what? They do that as me as well. So
that,
I think
which is a good, exactly.
I was gonna say because the way you say is like
not mine.
No, but example like but like the way you frame it is like, well, I only tap into them but when they need to tap into me, I'm also I want to say I'm a mentor for a lot of my coworkers that are like that are in a different section than where I'm doing, but I'm able to offer my expertise level. So I'm definitely in the mentorship role where I have to mentor other young people and teach them the ways. You know.
Oh, look at
I do the Obi-Wan Kenobi. I teach them the way.
You're teaching the way. Hey guys, I want to teach you the way today.
The force is with you. The force is strong.
No, that's good. No, but that's good. See, for me,
No. I completely agree. I have people who have asked me to mentor them. I get that. But here's the problem with me is I'm so used to, and this is a weird.
I mean, you're a mentor too.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm
I know
saying?
that, but
You
yeah,
mentor a
no,
lot of people.
no, I do, and I do that on a business level and also on a personal level.
That's what I was referring
happens
to.
is, yeah, and what happens is, at some point, think about a cup, right? A cup is full, right?
Mhm.
And the more I mentor, the more I give of myself, right? I'm leaking, right? I'm pouring out, and I need to be refilled too, right? I need to fill my cup as well, and that's where I, as an individual, I've got to refill, right? And that's why for me it's important to have a dedicated mentor that I could really use their professionalism, their approach and things to really grasp and say, hey, thanks for filling my cup today, because I really needed that, because I just poured myself on these individuals, and I really needed to seek that out, right? So for me, it is incredibly important, Alex, that anyone who is listening find a mentor, right? Here's some 4 quick ways, right? Forbes, as they say it is, find someone you can trust, find someone who has expertise, find someone that you can contrast with, and also find someone that you're compatible with. I think those are strong. I really do. I think they're great. However, don't forget that there is a piece there that also really matters on what is my end goal with my mentor, right? Ask yourself, like, are they strictly dedicated in every aspect in my life, right? Or am I going to this mentor professionally? Or am I going to
And
this mentor?
sometimes
Yeah.
I would just like, and sometimes it's okay to change my, mentors. Sometimes a mentor could come into your life and just like anything else and teach you certain things, and they get to a certain level and they get stagnant. You got to be able to go and be like, okay, I got to this level, I need to pick another mentor that's going to take me to the next stage, because we're all growing. I mean, I think we are learning, we adapt to certain situations, and we always want to learn more. If people get stagnant with the same scenarios, I mean, you don't grow. That's just, I think you need to look for other people at certain points, because like you just said, not everybody's gonna fill up your cup. Some people gonna fill up this portion of it, and the other people gonna fill up the other portion of it.
Absolutely. No. I completely, totally, completely agree, Alex. And again, I go back to those of you that are listening, no matter where in the world you're located. Look, mentoring is important, and I think it truly does matter, Alex. That's just me.
So Carlos, I don't know if you've been
man.
keeping up with the news lately, but man, this chip shortage is crazy, because it's not, and it's not even chip, it's everything now. It's like
right.
it's
not
and the
even
thing is,
cars.
let me go back by saying the stuff is there, but there's no workers to get it out of the ground or cut the wood or do this. And then once there's people that actually get it out, there's no one to haul it. Then it takes a long time to get to the manufacturing or whatever the case may be. And then it takes a lot of time to get that into the production. Once they complete the production, there's shortage of people to put it into the cargoes or trucks or distribution, to get it out to the distributions, and then get it out to the public. And we're big Formula One fans and everything. Rolex is a major sponsor of Formula One.
Ooh.
And it's a privately held company.
Yeah, man.
And they normally don't do a lot of communications.
Mm-mm.
And you're a big time watch guy too. So
I am.
Did you see the news?
I did, man.
Go ahead and tell us what the news is.
There's apparently a shortage. This is crazy. There is a Rolex who really doesn't put out much communication, as you just mentioned, Alex. A watch company, right? How much of a communication can a watch company put out outside of, hey, we got a new model, right? Or hey, we're
and they do less than other ones because they're more private and they got an established brand, right?
Absolutely. They don't need to market themselves, right? They don't really need to, unless, I don't know, maybe they're looking for new market acquisition opportunities. I don't know. But what I will say is that this is a statement that's put out. Now, some people are saying it's a tactic. Some people are saying this is marketing 101 at its best.
It's not.
But I'm going to say that the reality is, whether it is or not, it's pretty interesting, because there is a shortage of Rolex production right now. Like, according to what they're saying, right? According to what the Swiss brand is putting out there, right? Which is, we all know Rolex, right? If you don't know who Rolex is, you might be living under a rock. I hate to say that, but the company was very simple and they were very honest. And they just said, look, the reality is we're short on staff, right? We're short on staff. We've got the materials that we need, but we just don't have the hands, right? This isn't a machine, right? This isn't a machine that's putting these watches together.
Yeah, they
right?
do everything
is,
by hand in-house in Switzerland. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's what a lot of these, right, luxury watch companies really pride themselves on, right? Focusing on that handmade, that quality, that's that
what drives the
specific
price up.
observation. Yeah, again, I get it. Yeah, no. But here's what I will say, Alex. Despite this shortage, despite this mess that's, this pandemic that we're still in, that's causing, supply issues and creating a higher demand, but there's no inventory to keep up with that demand, right? What I will say, it's comparing to the sneaker market in certain ways, right? But I will also say that this is a fantastic opportunity for the reseller, right?
Oh,
you got a
exactly.
Daytona, right? You got a Daytona sitting in your drawer. Hey, this could be the time for you, right? I'm just saying that. Now this is just Rolex, not anyone else. I'm a big Hublot fan. I'm a big AP fan. Oh my gosh, I love APs.
No, but it's also affecting like Patek Philippe.
Like it is. Yeah. No, it is. Everyone is getting hit.
Look, so I deal a lot with the technology sector, and in a lot of the stuff that we go out through our customers is technology based. It's all chips and it's all boards and it's all circuitry. We're getting from manufacturers. I mean, the delays and the shortage is so crazy, man. It is so crazy that that we don't even know. The delays could be The delays could be huge, man.
Right. No, and again, I go back to this supply and demand is at an all-time high. And I mean, they're being incredibly honest and saying, look, this is just the reality of where we're at. If you're looking for a Rolex, find a Rolex dealer because they control how much supply they've got. If they have enough demand, they may be low on these shortages. Again, I go back to they pride themselves on handmade. They handle with extreme care.
All this does is driving the price. It's going to drive the price.
It's going to drive the price. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And look, this is why they're saying this is marketing 101 at its best, right? I mean, look, let's be honest.
But it's a reality.
Let's go to the purse market. Let's go to the purse market. Chanel, Louis Vuitton went up 7% this year. 7%, right off the bat, 7%. We both understand that, right? We both understand that. We're both consumers. We understand it, right? 7%. You think the watch industry, which is a luxury brand, is going to stay in the back? Heck no, right? Because now they've got to pay employees a lot more, right? If my barbecue joint is offering, as I said last episode, if a barbecue joint down the street from me, right, in the part of the world that I live in is offering a $2,000 incentive just for you to come in and be the waiter or the waitress in the restaurant, do you think these guys don't have to offer more incentives? Do you think these guys may not have to offer more in their benefit package, right? Their comp package has probably gotten a whole lot better as well. But this does create, right? This does create an inflation and opportunity for them.
100%.
So,
I mean, we talked about that it was in the groceries and everything. So how are we not going to expect the luxury brands to start raising up their prices? I mean, it's just common sense. It's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And this is why it's important, that the little that you want to put aside and start putting into investments and stuff like that, where your money can grow, because we're losing power in our dollar. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah. You're right, Alex. No. Inflation is killing the dollar, killing the value of the dollar. But outside of all that, everything is getting hurt. I think I'm going to say this, and then I know we got to move on. I think this housing boom that we're in, I think it's creating an oversaturation in the market, and I think it's going to collapse. I think there is just way too much concentration, and there is a concentration risk that's falling in line with this housing market. This boom is outrageous. It's getting just completely out of hand. That you watch, Alex.
You watch. I'm not a predictionist, right? I don't have all the graphs, but I'm telling you, there is just an incredible amount of saturation in the housing market that I think there's so much concentration risk, if you ask me. But I'm gonna leave it at that. But I did want to bring that up because we talked about food and the price and the cost of inflation, what it's created just in what we're buying and what we consume as people, what we eat, food. And now if you're a luxury brand kind of guy or gal, you're going to see that it's just a matter of time before Rolex goes up, right? You can get a used Rolex for about $2,500. Right off the bat, you can get it for $2,500. It's not going to be the best, right? But it's going to be a used Rolex, and you can floss it. You can look what I got, right? I got that roly. I get it, right? But now what's going to happen with that increase? That $2,500 watch is probably in the used market, maybe 30, right? 3,100 at the most. And it's probably, a smaller bezel, smaller diameter, but guess what? You're carrying that Rolly, right? So again, I go back and I say, just be prepared, guys, because this is something that just happened today. And I think it's important for us to recognize that.
No, I think.
But here's the thing. If you own a Rolex, right, and you're looking to liquidate it, this is a great opportunity. As we heard PJ talk a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, and you can always sell it now and then hold it, and then eventually, if the prices do come down, but there's always that risk that people get too comfortable and it's like, no, people are paying this. Why are we going to drop our prices?
Right, right.
But let's just say the prices do come down, you can maybe buy a new Rolex.
Hey,
or get you a better one if the prices come down.
Right. Hey, if that's the case, if you want to upgrade, because again, it's going to keep its worth, right? It's going to keep its value. Again, I would say search around and find the best deal that you can, right? And try to drop it down as low as you can. Then I'll go ahead and flip it, right? You flip it, make a couple $100 and keep going. That's just the way, we all know.
I think that's
the ability to flip your assets.
Yeah, I think that's one of the, what you were just mentioning, PJ, that's one of his, how to elevate from watch to watch to watch. Eventually you start playing with the big dollar watches, but it's it takes some time to get there. It does.
That's right. If you don't have the influx of cash, then you got to start somewhere. But hey, again, we're here to provide you information. We're here to give you advice. In this particular opportunity, I would say, Alex, if you are into the luxury brand, right? If you're into luxury watches, hey, find the best deal, go to a pawn shop and see what you can sell it for and haggle the pawn shop, make your money and take off and flip it, right? If that's what you're looking for, right? You can go online, you can go on eBay, just make sure they're authentic, make sure you get the authentication piece, then you're on the way. Easy as that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But what? Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I was just going to say, are you done with that or what? You still?
Dude, I'm done. I really wanted our listeners. I'm serious. I really wanted our listeners to really.
I didn't want to cut you off. That's all.
No, I didn't mean to.
Okay, because I was going to ask you.
Because here's the thing. It's all about learning, right? It's all about investing in yourself. Don't you think?
Yeah, correct. And so what are some of the ways you look into invest in yourself?
Man, listen. I don't even know where to start, man. I am a sucker. I think about Nelly, the song. I'm a sucker for cornrows and manicured toes. And the capri pant. No. Listen, I am a sucker. I really am. I am a sucker, Alex, for just learning, right? I am a sucker. If I can learn something new every single day, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm all for it. Can you not do that with the microphone again? And I don't know what it is about you and that microphone in your eye, dude. I really don't know what it is. I think it's like your comfort zone. I don't know what it is. No. It's awkward. But anyway, listen.
It's just soft.
Listen, so I'm gonna say right now that one of the ways that I invest in myself is, have you ever heard of Masterclass? Yes, dude, it's $185 a year. Jump
for
on
a bunch of classes.
Listen, you want to be
I've been this close.
Jump on board.
I've been so close to pulling the trigger because
I
feel like there's a lot of things you can learn, cooking, tactics, like from different experts. So I think that there's definitely a value in that. I don't know. I haven't decided to pull the trigger, but maybe I need to throw some money into that because there's different ways you can invest in yourself by reading books, listening to educational, even TikToks. There's some people that talk about investments and stuff, but obviously proceed with caution because it could just be anybody, just talking and saying stuff that's not holds any
But
value.
but here's the thing: it's people are top quality people, right? Top.
Yeah, that's
now
what I was
listen,
saying. There is
now
people
listen,
that do
yeah,
know.
top
They're
quality. But
experts.
here's what I am gonna say to you, Alex. It's not like you can't find maybe not that specific role on YouTube, but you can learn things from YouTube as well.
No, for
right?
sure. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah. If you don't have
YouTube,
that cash,
TikTok,
jump on YouTube,
Instagram,
right?
and it's like, but dude, I mean, $180, it's not that bad. It's just making sure that there is value. And if you say that there's value in that, I don't see why not.
It's
I
great,
can
Alex.
spend
It
on it.
really
Yeah.
is. It's great. Now, listen, I also take classes, right? I also take classes to continue my education. Luckily, I was able to get on some Stanford courses that I am blessed to be able to do that. I never thought I'd have that ability, and I'm incredibly grateful. But what's wrong with adding to my own library? What's wrong with me adding additional folders in my mental cabinet, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? So I would say to anyone who's listening, pour into yourself, spend money in yourself. If I meet a 20-year-old, right, that says to me, hey man, I got $5,000, where do I need to throw my money into? Can I be honest? Spend $1,000 on yourself. What do you mean? Do I need to go buy? No. Learn something. Go learn something, right? Spend $1,000. Get you a consultant. Get you a financial advisor. Learn the world, right? Learn the world that you live in. More specifically, learn the world that you're trying to get into, right? You can pay somebody. People will do anything for money, especially for you to take their knowledge, right, and pour it into you, right? Especially if it's somebody that you trust, right?
It's like there's a lot of people that want to learn how to do edits and how to do videos and stuff like that. Well, invest in some courses that teach you about Adobe Premiere, that teach you, Final Cut Pro, that teach you how to cut, get some books, they'll teach you. I mean, there's all kinds of information. That's what I do is I learn. And guess what? When I'm trying to edit some of these videos or even before when I used to do different Call of Duty videos and some other stuff, it's like, dude, I would just jump on YouTube and they're like, how do you do this? There's tons of information of people that are
Tons
done
of
it.
knowledge.
So you can always learn how to do something, learn how to do it correctly, and then you move on to the next little thing. And then that's how you become a subject matter expert on something by learning all the little details eventually until you fill that mental cabinet and then you're there. But it takes one step at a time. If you don't take that first step, you're never going to get there.
And this is where I go back to. This is where my salesman, and we're not sponsored by Masterclass in any kind of way. But Alex, what I would say,
but if you do, hit us up.
Right? If you do, hit us up. But I will say to this, Alex, to you directly.
That'll be a great sponsor, by the way.
How it would? Oh my gosh! I will say this: what is hurting you in not doing it? Right? How is it going to hurt you if you purchase it, dude? Just be honest.
How do you increase your value for a company that you're at? Learn more. It's all about the value that you bring to the table, because we all work the same amount of time, even unless
you all get the same amount of hours in the day.
Yeah, unless you're doing passive income. But other than that, it's like you're putting your time for money, and we're all doing the same hours. Some of us are doing a little bit more, but they just take that 8 to 5.
Right.
So
right.
how do you increase that? By increasing your knowledge and being more valuable, so the company is able to give you more money for doing a different role that needs more knowledge.
Right.
Simple as that.
Increase your value. Absolutely. And listen, and it's not just, it is not always a money thing. I hope everyone who's listening isn't that, man, these guys are all about money. No. It is about money. It is always about money. Let's just get that out there, right? Let's just be honest. The world revolves around money, right? Let's just be flat out. But here's what I will say. It's not everything, right? It's not everything. It's just a piece to get there, right? It's just a vehicle. Don't treat it as this holy grail, right? It's just a vehicle to get you to where you're going. But my point to that is, if you can allocate some kind of asset, you can allocate and generate some kind of revenue so you can grow as an individual and increase your own value for the sake of yourself, not just a third party. Hey, jump on it, guys. Right. So if anything, I would say, I think Masterclass is great. If you want to do a continuing education course like I do, go for
it. And it's like, I just want to point out that you just hit it, also that you said it's not all about the money, and it's not, because you may have a good job, you may have a good pay, but you want to learn a different something that you're passionate about. Say it's photography, say it's video editing. Maybe you're not looking to get paid, but
Right.
it's something that fulfills your soul. And why not learn and become better at it? So who knows, maybe it can lead to your own side gig, and then your side gig becomes your gig, but if
Right,
you don't
right,
ever take
right.
the steps to like, oh, I really love photography, but don't really invest in time to really learn it, then, you're never going to be there.
Absolutely. No, Alex, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to just do it. What are you waiting for? Right. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because we always talk about investing in ourselves. Well, I would say this is the opportunity where not only do you talk about investing in yourself, I would say to you, how do you invest in yourself? Well, here's how you would do it. Here's how I would encourage you. And guess what? Here's what I'm also going to bring it back to. That mentorship we talked about in the beginning, that's investing in yourself.
Correct.
That
Full
is
circle.
investing in yourself. A full circle, right? Get that full wraparound service, right? You want a buffet? You want a buffet of options? That's part of the buffet, right? That mentorship is also about investing in yourself. So listen, speaking of money, speaking of investment, what is up with Formula One right now, man? I heard, was it Shoemaker jumped on board today? Is that the big announcement today?
Well, okay, first of all, I want to know where you're going with this, because everybody knows I'm a big Formula One fan. So it's like, I can always talk about anything that has to do with the sport, but where are you going with, what's your subject here? Like,
On
what are you
Formula
interested
One?
in?
I want to know, listen, here's what I'm jumping. There's been so much that's been happening in Formula One lately, especially with these renewals and who's jumping on what team. This is the time right now where things are slowly being released, right? This is where you're starting to hear the hot, sexy secrets of the Formula One game. So this $2 billion industry, Alex, this is just a quick question. I just wanted to get your take on it. Where do you see this thing going, man? Do you, because they said that 12 years ago, the team that Formula One had, all of them, like they were at the pinnacle of Formula One. Right now, where is it going with Hamilton winning and winning and winning and winning?
So look,
is it a car issue that they need to change? Is it a
no? They are
that needs to be changed?
Look, a lot of people in I was doing my hydro, exercise and stuff. And the lady that was talking, I was like, hey, I recently just started watching Formula One and I am addicted. I'm becoming such a fan of the sport.
Yeah.
So I think you're getting a lot of new people into the sport, because here's what the previous owners or the previous CEOs or the previous management company was not being accessible to the public. They were not good on social media. They were old school. Think about your old CEO that is old school and doesn't know how to.
Well, it's coming from a country
phone.
that still believes in the Queen, right?
No, but
that's the origination,
Media,
right?
Yeah, but correct. But Liberty Media that owns or does the management of Formula One became more. It took its drivers and it made them more accessible to the media. It's mandatory for the drivers to speak to the media. Know this. They made the drivers more accessible. You got the show on Netflix that's showing you a different side of the background into the lives of, even though we like real fans like myself and stuff that able to see through all the drama. You're looking at like news outlets and articles and stuff like that, and you're getting the whole thing. But it's good to see Netflix put it all together for you. And instead of you doing all the research, like that's what Netflix does. So it's bringing eyeballs to the scene through Netflix show, drivers being accessible, media, Instagram posts. So I think it's pushing it more and more and more out there to the public. There's like, this is super interesting. Wow, this sport is like, what's going on? And then you start investing into Hamilton, into Max, and what's going on with Sergio and Gasly, like they don't give me the opportunity, always trying to shade the other driver. And then so there's like all this kind of drama behind the scenes. And then you got like, I love this, what they introduced also, Carlos, is they introduce when the principals are talking to the FIA, or to the governing body during the race, where it says
Absolutely.
like, hey, I
Transparency.
don't. No, and it makes it interesting because now we're getting into like the principles. Like, hey, I don't think that was right. Look, why are we being investigated? He did nothing wrong. What's going on? You got to give us a chance. Like those conversations make it more interesting. Like, because they're playing two different races. One's in the field, in the racetrack, and the other one is in the garage, and it's so interesting.
Absolutely. No,
So
I love it. I love it.
And what happens
Do
when
you
you bring
think
more?
it's so do you think it's creating, there is a growth spurt that this $2 billion industry is going through right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's increasing daily by more and more eyeballs and more everything that's happening. And of course, COVID didn't happen. It didn't help at all.
No,
But
not at all.
but I think the more eyeballs you bring to the scene, what does that do for the dollars? More
I mean, you would,
sponsorships.
right? Absolutely.
Everything is going to increase. Now, the car is changing for 2022, and this new regulations, new everything, new total car is going to be new for everything. And we'll see where Mercedes stands because they may not come out as the dominant car. It's happened before. It happened to Red Bull.
So what I did read on that, give me your top reason why what is the thing that you're like, oh, this is going to change things. This is going to revolutionize it. In my opinion, I think the tire piece is going to play a role.
Yeah, they changing the wheel size, and I think the new wheel size is like, oh, and you're putting me on the spot because I haven't thought about the new regulations, but like they're changing the wheel size, they're changing the cars, they're changing the wings where you're able to get closer. Right now, there's a lot of drag, a lot of dirty air. That's when you're behind a car and it's just turbulent air causing to the car, and it's hard to follow a car. So what they're trying to do is make all the cars a little bit more, like a little bit wider, and down, and also the wheels where they can follow a car closer. So there's able to be overtake, and there's a lot more energy in the racetrack happening, and the cars are not so despaired. Like so you got cars that are super slow and you got cars that are so fast. And so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to equalize it and make it more jam-packed.
So last thing, and we got to leave this because I don't want our listeners to be like, oh my gosh, these people are just so stuck on Formula One. No, listen. Last thing, what's your opinion on this Max and Hamilton drama right now?
I think, look,
because 2 weeks ago, I thought that car was going to land on top of Hamilton's head.
Dude, it's hard racing. It's hard racing. Both of them don't want to pull out. What happened when Hamilton didn't want, I think, at Silverstone?
Let him in. Yeah.
When Hamilton closed the gap and pushed wide and caused a big old accident on Max. It was 51 G's of an accident.
Nothing.
It was
nothing.
Look,
nothing happened.
If it would have,
that's it.
But if it would have been an old car, man, that could have been super dangerous. But the problem is that cars are super safe thanks to the FIA. Done some good things like the Halo.
Right.
I didn't like it personally at the beginning, but of course it grows on you.
It's so helpful.
But then when you see it actually help somebody, it's like, oh absolutely, 100%. They nailed it.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
You see it right off the bat, slow motion. You're like,
well, it definitely helped Hamilton in the accident, But look,
absolutely.
What I don't like is that they didn't punish Hamilton with the 3 grid penalty for the next race.
Well,
for causing the collision.
I want God to love me the way He loves Hamilton. I get it. That's my
and then over here they do it to Max, and it's like, dude, it's just hard racing. It's just hard racing. Both of them are not gonna back out. You're not gonna be able to stop this. This is not the last time. I'll be surprised if they don't. There's like 8 races left. If they don't collide again, like there's gonna be something. It's gonna be some bump and grind here and there.
Those guys are after each other, man. They're incredibly after each other.
The title race is so close.
It is. It's a battle towards the championships. I believe.
I think they favor.
That's the wording.
They definitely favor Hamilton and Mercedes way more. They're more lenient on them than anybody else.
Which is interesting because over the years it was Ferrari, right?
Well, Ferrari has the majority of the. Well, the thing is, Ferrari has the majority of the votes. They have a senior citizen vote in a way because they've been the oldest in the sports. They get more money, and but if Ferrari wasn't in the scene,
and they don't even qualify.
It would be different. Well, right now their car is not that great, but they're making strides to come back.
Anyway,
you gotta remember, there's been dominant. It used to be Mercedes. It used to be Ferrari. then it was
Yes.
Red Bull, and then they changed some rules. Then it became Mercedes, and the hybrid era has been all Mercedes. In this new era, who knows? Mercedes could be
Honda is on the way, guys.
no, Honda's out of the way. You meant to say Volkswagen has a potential partnership?
They do.
Red Bull to
I wanted somebody to get excited about the VTEC kicking into Formula One, and the VTEC goes through, and all of a sudden he's a winner. Oh, the VTEC.
I think Volkswagen, if they're able to get that partnership with Red Bull, is going to be huge. Because think about it,
clean car.
They own Bugatti, they own like Lamborghini, Audi, Volkswagen, all these luxury brands.
There's
and engines.
access to capital and people, bro. That when you say that, all that means is there's access to capital and there's access to people because there's capital, and you can get the best of the best, right? Because you don't know the drama between lead engineers going to another team from another. You don't hear about that unless they really make it an issue, right? And sometimes
we saw that. We saw that with
one person, right? But
check this out. But that's some lead engineers and all that stuff. You can make NDAs, but you cannot take people's knowledge. The same thing with work.
Of course not.
You cannot take people's knowledge. But here's the thing. It happened with Alex because it's going to Williams. Williams is a customer of Mercedes engines. They supposedly did MDAs and all this other stuff for Albert because he holds a contract that Red Bull could bring him back to any of their teams in 2023. And potentially he could share information of what he learns about the Mercedes engine. So obviously Mercedes was, we don't want them. But dude, you can't tell a customer like what they can do and what if they did it. That would have been damaging for the sport.
Absolutely, because that's the thing. It's like, as you have mentioned, that's an intellectual property that these individuals carry with them, right? They know the schematics, they know the specifications, they know their numbers into what needs to take place. And guess what? That creates more competition, right? That's the creative, exciting part about this competition.
Last thing is they're bringing back an old guy from McLaren that was a superstar that's gonna come back to McLaren. So they're hoping that he's gonna.
I don't know how I feel about that.
There's all kinds of
trying
stuff.
To bring back the old regime, right? Right.
Well, sometimes you need new innovation, but I think if they could bring them back to a winning team, who knows? Like,
we'll see we'll see if the investment is worth it. I don't think so. I think they've ran their time. Good luck playing Hamilton, because again, I go back to God loves Hamilton way more than anybody else.
And it's like, to finish up, like I was listening to some articles, and Sergio has been this key role is to help Max win the title and help Red Bull. And Chris Horner came out and said he's a team principal, that they design a car that suits only Max, and they understand that it's their fault because Ricardo. You had Gasly, you had all these drivers that are not able, and now you got Sergio that's good on race day, but is not able to do it on qualifying. So they're hoping that their new car, they're able to do it more just to the driver and not just dedicated to one driver, because now they see that they've actually hindered themselves.
We'll see. I want them to prove that to me. Prove it to me. If that's the case, prove it to me, because I feel like you're pushing him out. I do. And then it's not because he's Mexican.
Oh, no. They give him a shot. I mean,
but
no. They give. No. It's not.
Everyone gets a chance.
Because he's actually raced for in a different division. He raced and they had super success, and he wants to see Sergio's success. But they say like, hey, maybe it is our car that we messed up.
Oh, maybe.
But Sergio has made. He's done his job. I believe so. He needs to get better in qualifying. But I think he's done. Yeah, but the car doesn't
once he's
help.
stuck at the bottom, but bro, once he's in the bottom, he's stuck on the bottom. It is hard for him to climb those numbers.
Well, he can climb, except the problem is that when he gets to the McLarens, that's the problem.
Yeah, he can't.
He can climb all these other ones, but if the McLarens, here's the thing: if the McLarens are stuck in 6th or 7th place, he can't pass those.
Yeah.
But if the McLarens are higher up, like 4th or 5th, then he can climb all the way to those.
He's tailing.
Yeah, he can climb all the way to 6th. But as soon as it gets to those guys, if he can't pass them, then it's over.
And then ahead is,
dude,
right ahead of the
Formula.
Dude, and right ahead of the McLarens are your Red Bulls, are your
Your Mercedes.
I mean, your Mercedes. I mean, guys, listen. Anyway, so listen. So if you're a Formula One fan, hit us up. Let us know. Listen, Alex, your quote of the day comes from
Don't do a paragraph like I did.
No, yeah. That wasn't a quote. That was a
I
paragraph.
thought it was inspirational, but go ahead.
No, it was inspirational, man. I'm just messing with you. But this one comes from Dolly Parton. Gotta love Dolly Parton, man. She may not be some of people's cup of tea, but listen, I love this quote, man. It says, if you don't like the road that you're walking, start paving another one. If you don't love the road that you're walking, start paving another one. My name's Carlos.
This is Alex. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, guys. Later.